at just under a mile in length. The Iowa Speedway, it is the third shortest track we will be visiting this season, but what it lacks in distance, it makes up for in tension. Tonight is round 6 of 24 on season 7 of the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series, which brings us to one of the most rugged and unique ovals there is. I am Emerson Arden with Jonathan Byer alongside in the virtual booth this evening, and we're excited to be bringing you live coverage from virtual Newton, Iowa. And last time out, it was Drake Carty who left it all on the track in a fiercely competitive duel at the road course in Watkins Glen, New York, against longtime SRN vet James Shainwolf to get his first career victory. This track, though, brings an unwavering challenge for our competitors this evening. Multi-groove and bumps all over. It'll be who places their truck in the right place for success tonight, getting it done here in the cornfields of Iowa. And JB, this track, it is a very, very fun track. It might be the most characteristics in a short track that any oval really has. You know, some will have, you know, the concrete Bristol, the high banks of Bristol. You'll have the differing pavement, the concrete at Martinsville, and the very flat, no banking in the turns, the sharp turns. Iowa kind of has a little bit of everything. Has a little bit of banking, a lot of bumps. You can run high, you can run low. I mean, they call that progressive banking, if you will. Lower banking on the bottom, higher banking on top. Makes a long way around, still rewarding, and it takes a little bit of a bigger brother kind of a shape to Richmond, of course, which is the whole point of it. That's why Rusty Wallace designed this track.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite tracks on the schedule. I kind of think of it as a mini auto club with just the characteristics as far as the bumps you get. The progressive banking is kind of the most noticeable thing when you're actually driving it on track. So we'll see. You know, I was always a driver who loved that lower lane or just one lane up from the line. Was never somebody that liked to rip the top on this racetrack, but our race here last year, we kind of saw that be a favorable option down the stretch. So it'll be interesting to see how these drivers attack it. But Iowa, it always puts on a great show, so I can't wait to see what's on tap for us here tonight.
Absolutely. And JB, I think part of that, right, is every car that races here is different. Indy cars, you know, you can let it rip right on the bottom lane. The next gen car, you kind of start high, you work through the middle, and then you kind of diamond it off. The Xfinity car, you keep it in the middle. A truck, you can kind of put it anywhere. The Xfinity car can also run high, right? There's so many different lines, and each vehicle is different. The ARCA car is a lot of fun here. You can kind of do a similar to the Indy car line here. And so that means, you know, if you're really good at one line or really good at one car here, that doesn't mean that's going to translate to the truck tonight.
Exactly. I mean, the truck is just such a unique vehicle in the way it drives. You know, high drag, high downforce, doesn't necessarily turn really well. They're heavy. But what I do notice about these trucks is it's all about the momentum you can carry off the corner, whether that's turn 2, whether that's turn 4. If you can maximize your run down the straightaways, that's where you make a lot of lap time here. It's a little less about entry. When you talk about the next gen cars, Emerson, when I drive that, I feel it's more concerning on entry is where you make up that time. So it's just a completely different way of thinking about it. Every vehicle you drive here, like you said, just completely different. But these trucks at Iowa is one of my all-time favorite combinations.
Well, it's time to get to our starting lineup this evening, JB. It's actually week 6 here at Iowa Speedway, but it is our now pole sitter for 2 weeks in a row, and Drake Carty with a 24.035. Last week, JB, Carty lost the lead on the initial start, so he looks to hold on to it tonight. It's Kyle Johnson, Talladega race winner, starting second. Jason Green and David Flanagan making up row 2. James Shainwolf, runner-up last week at Watkins Glen, he'll start 5th tonight. Scott Kalal will start 6th. Andrew Harris will start 7th. Bo Brady 8th. Ben Park and Kyle Spees to round out the top 10. JB.
Dalton McKinney's going to roll off 11th. Lane Doyle 12th. Michael Sidor 13th. Jason Kradke 14th. Jeffrey Radke 15th. Aiden King in for Tallman tonight in 16th. Corey Stahl 17th. Austin DeLong 18th. Sean Corcoran 19th. And Dylan Godinez will round out the top 20.
Daytona race winner Chris Luttrell starts in 21st. Evan Carlbon will start 22nd. It's Sean Merriman 23rd. And Wally Babb 24th. Row 13 will see Robert Vick and Spencer Brown. Row 14 will be Jeffrey Vickery and Connor Cunningham. Justin Smith and Matthew Greathouse will start 29th and 30th. And to round out the rest of the field is Daniel Park, 31st, Joe Ruggles, 32nd, Mark Person, 33rd. So that's how our 33 trucks will come to the green this evening, JB. And tonight we're in, well, tonight in real life, but in the sim we're here in the daytime, which of course that also has a big handling on these vehicles. What was the decision to go with a daytime race? You typically see trucks run nighttime here at Iowa.
You know what? I wish I had that answer for you, but I don't know why. I want to say it's actually something with the scheduling of if the Iowa lights work or not on the service. I think actually is what went into it, because we try to put a lot of these truck races at night, but then again, I don't know. I made the schedule, so who knows what I was thinking. But you know, you got to have that little mix. I know we have a lot of night races kind of late in the schedule, so sprinkling a little sunshine never hurt anybody. It will change the way these trucks handle for sure. I know the track temp is well above 110 degrees, so it's hot, it's slick. Should put on a pretty good show for us up here.
Absolutely. And so we are working our way down the back straightaway for the final time before racing gets going here from the Iowa Speedway. Drake Gardy and Kyle Johnson, Jason Green, David Flanagan, and James Shane Wolf of the top 5. I want to thank you all for joining us and tuning in for tonight's racing action here from the Iowa Speedway. Noon, Iowa is the stage for round number 7 on the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series season. And as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane, green flag is in the air. One lap removed here at Iowa, and Drake Hardy has already opened up a monster lead over the field.
Yeah, Drake Hardy got off to a really good jump there. Got free and able to run every line he wants. We saw 3 wide, almost 4 wide. We got a spin down there on the bottom. I think it's Jeffrey Radke in the 3 truck has gone around on the bottom of the backstretch there. Don't see any other trucks currently involved. Looks like there's one further in the back.
Joe Ruggles and Justin Smith involved, potentially Mark Person.
You know, it happened there, Emerson, right off turn 2. We'll get a look back at it, but, you know, we were talking pre-race, kind of, you know, talking about what this race might have in it. We're talking about how sketchy these trucks are on cold tires here at Iowa with the really, really low air pressure. Makes it hard to get off the corner. Can be pretty sketchy. My guess is that's what's happened to that 3 truck right there.
Yeah, a little too hot on the gas in that sea of pink trucks. We'll get to more on that later, JB, but Radke just kind of goes for a loop around. Oh, Justin Smith gets hooked behind.
Ooh.
That's
that truck in the back that
Yeah.
I saw that was sitting there sideways on the track. That's gonna hurt him quite a bit. Joe Ruggles looks like he just kind of dodged to the bottom and stops just to get out of the way. Probably a good idea. You see Greathouse go for a mini slide right there, but doesn't make contact with anything. I think he's gonna be just fine. That's what you worry about though on the start of these races and any of these restarts. When these, you know, cold tires, they're not up to temperature yet. Hard to get off the corner, can make it pretty difficult. You put a little more gas input than you need to on it, whoops it around. But everybody's right there behind you. Corey Stahl does a great job right there avoiding his teammate. That could have been threat level midnight disaster to start this event.
I want to take a look.
But there's room down there.
More into the Justin Smith incident, because that one kind of comes out of nowhere as well. Let's see if we can
Yeah, I mean, the back half of what I was talking about right there is the fact that these trucks are all so close together on these starts and restarts. And when somebody spins, if you're not driving heads up, it can be difficult to see. Oh, he does the same thing.
No, nothing.
No
Contact.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you saw the 2 things of what could happen. Because you saw both trucks get sideways in the same area. Radke does what's advised to do. If you're going to just spin it, just go ahead and spin it out, lock it down, get back and drive and face another lap. Justin Smith does the opposite. Tries to wheel it back to the right, overcorrects, snaps it outside wall. That's going to hurt him for the rest of the day. Kind of what you saw Larson's car do a few weeks ago, Emerson, if you were watching the a race at Atlanta in the Cup Series. You know,
that was a heavy hit.
It's yawed out just a little bit, and he has wheel input going the other way, and eventually those tires are going to catch grip again, and it's going towards the wall. So
Same concept.
That's part of the dangers right there.
Same concept with that. But very intriguing how that works, because the next gen, it's a whole different steering box. It's very hard to catch the next gen. You just saw Justin Smith do that right here in I would say the older style, or the stock car style that we're used to of yesteryear, if you would, with still, you know, the older gen stock vehicles, and usually they're easier to catch, but on cold tires and coming out of a corner like that, all loaded up, I mean, he didn't stand a chance. Luckily, Greathouse was able to avoid it.
Yeah, what you're talking about in the next gen cars, the rack and pinion steering.
Yeah.
Which is something that, you know, NASCAR had never done before next gen car came about. And, you know, you're right, they're hard to catch because just such a little bit of input makes a big difference. These with the old school steering boxes, there's a little bit more of a driver ability there, but you know, at the end of the day, still, once those tires catch grip, the truck's going to go whichever way it's pointed. Unfortunately for Justin, that was going to be the outside wall. Looks like he got off pit road, though, after a 45-second stop and is back out on track. So not terminal damage for that 6 truck, but I'm guessing he's going to have a few more trips down pit road before that thing's quite right.
Yeah, he's gonna be feeling it for sure the rest of the race. But as the Speed Race Network HairClub Truck Series Hood worked their way off of turn number 4, the iRacing.com safety vehicle find its safety down in the pit lane. The field in the hands of Drake Carty, and green flag is back in the air. As they come off of turn 4, this time Drake Carty not as lucky to open up an advantage on the field, JB. But you see tonight the field is a sea of pink trucks, and that's because, JB, we are closing on the end of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You see all these drivers running liveries and truck around Michael Sidor.
Sidor's around in the middle of the track. We got another truck up against the outside wall. Can't tell who that quite is.
Evan
Back there
Carlbon.
spinning around. Carlbon trying to get it back together. Another spin, but luckily it looks like, again, minimal damage.
That's probably the only good news if you crash at one of these short tracks, JB, is the speeds are not as high as the intermediate track, and your damage is likely to be a lot less.
What happens here?
We're gonna see about the same.
Same area on the racetrack.
Oh, Carlbon sideways.
Yep. Same thing. So he did the Justin Smith approach, and unfortunately for Sidor, he was the next thing between that truck of the 78 and the wall.
Oh, no.
And that's what you call getting caught up in somebody else's mess. Who is that sneaks through right there in the middle?
It's a 99. Yeah,
that's
that is.
Wally Babb. Whoa. We might have to check. We might have to get a peek of that onboard there. That's a great job splitting those 2 trucks. Because it's like Bristol, Emerson. You come up on these wrecks really quick, and sometimes you don't have a lot of time to make a decision. So you just got to commit to whatever you are going to do. And Wally Babb did a great job there, committing to just splitting those 2 trucks. Watch the back end of that truck there on the bottom. Start to wiggle a little bit.
Snaps.
And bam. Yep.
Oh!
Wow. Be one of the wreck avoidances of the year, Emerson, so far. I mean, we've seen some good ones, but that was not close to 1 truck. That was close to 2 trucks.
Yeah, he almost hit both ends of it, man.
But same thing there. We saw, you know, Justin and then now Carlbon. The same thing happens. Back of the truck wanders a little bit. You'll see it right here on the steering wheel.
And he knew.
Right, eventually catches. Yep.
Immediately, he knew he overcorrected, JB. That wheel immediately went left.
But I think what's good for both those trucks, like I said, I don't see any heavy damage. I mean, it looks like their wheels were both pointed straight. Neither of them got a required repairs flag, so they'll both probably be able to continue. And Emerson, that kind of goes back to what you said about the speeds. You know, you're not hitting as fast as you would something on a 1.5 miles. You're going quite a bit slower, so a bit more grace there at times, but damage is still damage.
That it is. You don't want to really have any when you're running any race, right? Any damage can be a hindrance, but the best are able to adapt and overcome scenarios like so.
Well, as you were saying before we were rudely interrupted, we have some pink trucks out here tonight.
Yeah, let's see if we can kind of go down the field, see what we can pick out here.
I think the 87 here is the first one. Andrew Harris. Rocking a little bit of pink on that Bolify and Michael Steele Designs machine there.
A little bit of pink outline for Bo Brady. How about the 47, Lane Doyle?
That thing's nice looking there.
Hot pink instead of the lime green most weeks. McDingers comes out blue and pink. I think that was already.
Yeah, pink. That was a new one last week we really liked.
Cracky here.
Some cracky there, rocking a little bit more of a pinkish purple, a little deeper pink, a little pink up there on the 88 of Dylan Godinez as well. Pink numbers there.
Yeah. Let's see. Back here. Not a whole lot. There we go. Sidor. We saw in
Sidor in the 86. That's good looking.
Oh, look at Connor.
You can't miss that one.
Oh, my goodness. And Dan
Park.
And then
Dan Park. I love the flames on that one.
And Evan Carlbon. Well, you can't see the number, but you won't miss the truck either.
Yeah, exactly. Makes it easy for us.
The iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety down the pit lane to field once again in Drake Carty's hands and leads us to the green in Newton, Iowa. Lap 14 of 140. We are 10% of the way done here from Iowa, JB. 3 wide here in the heart of the pack. Bo Brady trying to get in between, and around goes Kyle Spees.
Spees is around. Lane Doyle, I believe, got a little piece of that. Dylan Godinez with a little bit of damage. Kradke Corcoran involved as well. Man. Same exact spot on the racetrack. And we saw the first 2 incidents go. Here in Ben Park, got a pretty good amount of damage on that as well.
Yeah, replay's going to be hard to come by of that incident, but you saw the initial contact live anyway. That was big. That was right in front of the field. And Kyle Spees, Dylan Godinez, the only 2 being lit up in red with that incident. But as you mentioned, JB, many trucks getting maybe little bits and pieces of it. Ben Park coming down with some damage. There it is.
Yeah, I'm looking back at the replay that I have because I'm looking from a little bit different angle than what we have on the broadcast, and it looks like Bo Brady followed Kyle Spees off the corner, was right there on his rear bumper, and it's already loose enough on these cold tires. Doesn't help when a truck is just right there on the rear bumper, and it just caused Kyle to go around. Nothing he really could have done there. Did a good job locking it down, keeping it in the middle of the field, but unfortunately, Ben Park made some pretty good contact with the rear end of that 36 truck. That's where you see that tail damage. And then Dylan Godinez, Jason Kratke, Sean Corcoran, they all kind of got a little bump going in the back, trying to avoid it. But the only 2 trucks with significant damage, it looks like on that one's the 36 and the 17.
Well, there you see they got the tailgate taped back on for Kyle Spees, so I'll give it another go for the 36. But you're right, JB. These trucks, we've seen it all day again, coming out of turn 2, first time at speed since the restart, and then you have a truck dumping air on that spoiler, man, and it just did not help the scenario one bit.
Yeah,
and,
bad combo.
Yeah,
that never works. But it sounds like that the 9 truck of Bo Brady was issued an EOL by admins for the cause of that incident. They felt like that was more than a racing incident, and that was just the 9 maybe being a little aggressive there. So admins have made that decision, which means the 9 truck, no matter if he pits, doesn't pit, whatever happens here under this caution, he has to start from the very end of the field on this restart. We haven't talked a lot about
that one's
the
intriguing.
penalty system this year, yeah, because we really haven't had a lot of calls, I feel like. I think we've just had a lot of natural racing incidents, but I did see that just come across the message board, so they'll be doing that. As far as pit road's concerned, though, we talked to Emerson before the race. 97 laps is a full tank of fuel here for these drivers. So as they continue to collect these pace laps, they have to be counting down the laps to see what gets them to the end. A few drivers coming down this last caution to top off, even if they weren't involved in an incident. Maybe just to push that pit stop a little bit later if they can. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on what they do on strategy, because you can definitely do this race in just one stop. Not sure you want to do that on tires, but fuel-wise, one stop's going to be all they need.
100%. You'll see, last week it was a road course, right? And, there was no imminent threat of a full course yellow. And so, as displayed by eloquently our top two right now, by the way, Drake Carty and James Shanewolf.
Shane Wolf. I don't want to alarm you, but we all remember what happened last time these two were together.
Oh, these trucks, man, they got used up.
Yeah, we'll be posting some really good footage of that battle here on the Speed Racing Network social platforms pretty soon, probably this week, because that's a definite watch back. And if you haven't gone and watched back last week's race, I think it's an incredible watch from start to finish.
All-time
one of the best road races we've had in SRN history. So that's available here on YouTube, our YouTube channel. You can go back and watch that at any time. Great battles throughout. And then the top two, Shane Wolf and Carty, just put on a class of a show.
Yeah, it did not get much better than that. It was the true display of road racing at its finest. But you saw those two strategies. They came to ahead right there. Granted, it was still about 10 laps from the end before it was finally settled, where Carty had the newer tires and drove off and away. But that was, of course, a road course. This is a short track where, yes, tire wear does matter here. But, you can salvage a little bit. Even older tires can hang with the high sides. So, you can play some strategy in that regard as well. So, as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane, the field in the hands of Drake Carty, and green flag is in the air. Just like 1 week ago, James Shanewolf going for the race lead, side by side with Drake Carty. This show never ends.
Yeah, maybe it's just a battle that we're not going to leave alone all year. And I'd be okay with that after the way they raced each other last week. Oh, we got a truck in the wall in the back. Big wreck in the back.
Oh, huge hits.
Kyle Johnson took a giant hit to the outside wall.
Scott Kalaw is... That is bad damage.
All I saw was the 48 truck pointed towards the outside wall, hit it really hard. Actually, the truck came up in the air a little bit. You saw the damage on Scott Kalaw. That truck is badly hurt. The 5 of David Flanagan, the 46 of Dalton McKinney. Significant damage on those two vehicles as well.
This was a pretty big incident. So we will slow it down here because there's going to be a lot to unfold here. And
yeah, you look at that black and yellow 48 truck. I think that's where this started.
Right here by the 5 of Flanagan. So well, a little bit of net code actually. If you want to.
Yeah, because you see those trucks spawn into each other. That's usually a sign of net code.
But then as Flanagan gets ricocheted off of the 48, net coded there with Kalaw, then McKinney gets hit, and there goes the 90 involved in this one as well. That's Aiden King.
And the 22 truck there of DeLong, yeah, gets a little bit of net code damage on the front of that truck, I believe. We talk about net code, Emerson. We've talked about where it thinks two trucks are going to make contact, and they don't actually, but iRacing thinks they do, and that hooks them together or turns them. It can also occur when the trucks get so close and they don't register contact, and they actually spawn slightly into each other. It's another version of that, and that's what it looks like right there. But I think on corner entry, it all started with a disagreement of who was going to run which line.
Yeah.
You know, you saw the 5, I think, was going to run the middle because he assumed the 48 was going to run the bottom. But from corner entry, it looks like the 48 doesn't want to run the bottom. And just that disagreement on space took those two trucks together.
Yeah.
Big hits. Don't know where Scott Kalal got involved in this.
You got
must have been a
net-coded.
little further back. Netcode contact as well. I see. I guess so.
Yeah, we'll take a look at Scott Kalal's part in this incident. Well, actually, might even right on board with Kalal and see just what he sees in this incident, because the main incident happens just a couple trucks in front, right there. He gets net.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yep.
Oh, yeah, and that is terminal engine damage. You heard it pop.
Yep. Still running, but you know that's one of those where as soon as you hit the pits, it's gonna be your chief's gonna tell you it's over.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite the repair job.
That was a good view too. You saw just the disagreement of space between the 5 and 48.
Yeah. I mean,
Now Emerson, here,
yeah.
do you give that to the truck, whichever one's in front of the other? Do you give that just by default to the guy that's on the bottom? You know what? I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could think about that, trying to fight for the same space on corner entry. But if you were to make a call there, what is your take on it?
Well, I think the official call is going to be netcode because of how close they're running and the contact. But say netcode wasn't an issue and they still just came together naturally in that incident. It's so hard, right? Like how do you judge that? You're the attacking car. You want to pin that car in front of you as low to the bottom as you can. But if the car is ahead, and you kind of saw this become a topic of conversation this week in another form of motorsport when it came to penalties, when it came to F1 and who was ahead at at the corner and who was ahead at the apex and all that stuff. But if you see that, clearly the 48 had a nose and half the truck ahead at corner entry, and gets to kind of dictate how low or high he wants to enter the corner, but he still has to turn into the corner. Now,
yeah,
were they that far into the corner when they made contact that the 48 should have turned by then? I don't know. That's maybe for the racing gods or the Jim Waltons of the world to decipher. But
yep. I think
certainly it was a interesting, probably just a racing incident at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a racing deal. Now they did put the 5 at the rear of the field, but he was already in enough damage. I think that was going to be the case anyway. But I think there Edmund saw the 48 truck was half a truck ahead of the 5. He's got priority on corner entry, so I think that's the way they ruled that. So all good though. We re-rack them here, and we're going to be ready to go with 114 laps left in this one.
We'll try it again. It's Shane Wolf and Cardi in Versum. That's the order they restart this race in. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down the pit lane. Green flag back in the air for Drake Cardi. And the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series field roars to life. Off of turn number 4, it is Drake Cardi leading James Shane Wolf and Andrew Harris trying to insert himself into this battle. I'm sure these drivers would like to get some laps under their belt and maybe get some real racing here to see who can outlast one another. So far, it's been very short 1-lap spurts, maybe 2-lap spurts to start this race. And now Cardi kind of clears out in front of the field. The top 3 kind of clear out in front of one another, and they get to run one another's lines or run their own lines and see who can really reel in the other. The real battle here is Lane Doyle and Aiden King going at it for that 5th position right now.
Yeah, things are a little bit more spread now than they were earlier. I think these drivers do want to get a little bit of a run in. We're not here all night. But I think also those cautions, any racing jitters, you get that out of the way, you kind of settle in. I think that's where we're at here. Things are naturally a little bit more spread out right now, so But the drivers did tell me before the race when I was talking to them, you know, they think if it gets like this, dude, we can go on a fairly long green flag run. So I think we'd love to see that. And so far, we're off to a much better start after this restart than we had been earlier.
I think part of that, right, JB, is these drivers kind of getting used. And you heard, of course, the cool tires was going to be the talk of the town today. And we knew that kind of coming in, right? At Iowa, you are always just so prone to spinning out of turn 4, turn 2 on your coming out of your warm-up lap or the first lap at speed. But these drivers really had to kind of get used to get those tire pressures up. But it's hard to get those tire pressures up at pace speed. And they kind of just kept doing the same cycle over and over again. And now finally we're going to get those pressures up, and we'll see what these drivers can do. Is we got a lap truck coming up, and I know after last week, JB, lap trucks are certainly the topic of conversation. Now, of course, it's a short track and an oval. There's a lot more lanes to play with here than there is at Watkins Glen, so this shouldn't be an issue. But certainly I'm sure Drake Carty and Shane Wolf, since they were tooth and nail in that battle, they are not fans of seeing lap trucks this early.
Yeah, I mean, lap trucks at a road course that has issues naturally, because on a road course, like you said, corners are a lot tighter. Sometimes there's not a great area to be out of the way. Here, that's a much easier thing to do. The 13 is going to just stay high and give everybody the bottom, because that's kind of a given preferred line. But as from my time of spotting, all you want to do as a lap vehicle is be predictable, right? Pick a lane, stick to it, and then just run that line every corner. Don't cross over in front of the pack or in the middle of a line. Give everybody the room to operate. Learn to live to fight another day. So that's what 13. Robert Vick's doing a great job of that right now. The leader's doing a good job being decisive and using the inside.
How about Jeffrey Radke here, JB? That was the first truck spun round today. And he's already back inside the top 10 on lap 35.
Doesn't surprise me. Radke really sharp driver, really fast at tracks like this. You know, he's got a little bit more work to do now than he did at the start of the race, obviously giving up all that track position with that spin, but you know, he's going to get it back together here and start making his way up there towards the front as you're working on the 18 of Merriman here.
Oh, look at this. Bum
Harris
drafting at
wants
Iowa.
a little bit here. You know, and Harris might just be using that as a courtesy to Shane, saying, hey, listen, I'm a little bit quicker, and here I am. Just so you know, I'm back there. Ooh, that Lane Doyle there on the bottom got a little bit crossed up coming out of turn 2. Does a good job hanging on to that machine.
Elaine Doyle trying to get by Aiden King, nearly coming to a point there. They'll be side by side across the stripe, and second, they're beating doors into turn 1.
Yeah, this battle is fast and furious right here. Two completely different ways around this racetrack, as you see. Harris sticking to the bottom, Shane Wolf using all that room up top where there's a little bit more banking. A little bit of a mini slide job right there by Harris. He's going to complete the pass off of 4.
This one continues, though. Aiden King not so lenient, not giving up the spot as easy here to Lane Doyle. So Lane Doyle has to continue to do battle on the inside. Can he clear up with enough momentum to hold station? He clears, but now King can do the send. Here in the 3, Doyle tries to close the door. King keeps it, his foot in it down low.
And this is the traditional Iowa racing, Emerson, that we love about this racetrack. Use one lane, use the other. You get a run off the corner, you cross somebody over. Love to see it. And here's Radke still working. We saw him get by the 18. Now he's here passing the 22.
P8 for the 3 truck.
If you look at the line, oh, look out. He got really loose off a 2 there. But the reason you see the 22, because, I mean, I feel like traditionally on racetracks, we see the top line just gets such a good run off the corner. Just like that right there, they drive away. The reason Iowa, the bottom, works so well is you can drive it a little bit straighter off the corner at times. And so if you're struggling with drive off, sometimes that'll help you out a little bit. That's what's making that bottom line kind of stick there. But as we go, I think, Emerson, you're naturally seeing preferred lane is moving up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Especially on new tires, you can really rip the bottom, and it works. It is the shortest way around, and the tires grip up after you get some temp into them. But once you kind of get everyone rolling, everyone's on the same pressures, the time tire temp, the tire wear, no one's really worn out their tires to this point yet, because we haven't really had those green flag laps to wear out the tires. And you see, the only way to really outdo one another is to really extend those straightaways by running the high side. But why the inside lane was also, very prominent and can still be very useful in passing later. You'll see Matthew Greathouse trying to use that inside right now on Sean Merriman, is that progressive banking here at Iowa as well.
Yeah, and it also, you talked about the tires a little bit. You also got to think about, this is one of the tougher places to save tire, because you really have to balance, good corner entry, good corner exit, making a lot of pace and speed, working the lanes, being able to pass, keep your track position while not roasting the front tires on entry and roasting the rear tires on exit. It's a lot harder than it sounds. Some drivers are really, really good at it, and I think as this run kind of goes on, we're naturally going to see that take a little bit of better shape. We got 3 wide further back here with Kradke in the middle, O'Brady up top. They've sorted that out a little bit, but Godinez looks like made a little bit of contact with somebody off the corner, kind of stacked everybody up. It looks like they got it sorted out.
Got battles here. Aiden King stays ahead of Radke, and DeLong going at it with Corcoran. We saw Greathouse clear Merriman, and then you were talking about Kratky. There is great battles all around this track, JB, and that's why we come to Iowa.
Yep. May not look pretty to start, but we've settled in nicely here, and this is the kind of battling and the kind of run we love about this racetrack.
Whoa! Aiden King took an expedition in turns 1 and 2, and Radke nearly cleared by him, but despite running that high up the track, JB, actually it might be intentional. Look at Aiden King. Oh, that's not intentional.
No. For a second, I was about to say, I think he's got something working. And that didn't look like he had something working.
But you know what
that's
doing?
The price, though.
He's experimenting.
Exactly. Well, that's the price of driving it real hard like that off the top. I mean, those rear tires are not going to like you. And that's what you saw right there. But it doesn't surprise me out of Aiden King. We talked about it last week. He's a young kid that taking the short track world by storm in the Carolinas. Dylan, raves about him all the time, his successes, and he's doing a lot of really cool things. So short track racer, in real life, he's got that skill and ability. Doesn't surprise me that he's trying to find everything he can out here tonight.
Trying to use some of that to his advantage. Here's Connor Cunningham passing Michael Sidor. Pink on pink battle back here for 17th.
Don't think you can miss that 24 truck.
No, you can't.
Obviously we heartbroken from Connor last week, but he's hoping to, put that in the rearview mirror and put up a good run here tonight.
What I'd like Connor to do with that is realize that he can compete with these guys. He's won us SRN race before, but a lot of people say it was fluky. It was on a really lucky pit call. We have 4 laps to go in the race, but hey, him and his spotter, they made that call and it worked. But
yep.
But I think this season Connor's really proving that he can compete with these guys, and I want him to take that away from what he did at Watkins Glen. Is that he's going to be something to reckon with, not just at the Roval later in the season, but every week.
Exactly, couldn't agree more. Look at Wally Babb up here passing a few trucks just after he was daring 2 of them in the face backwards minutes ago. Is working himself up here right outside the top 10. He's doing a really good job with that.
Here's Aiden King and Austin DeLong doing battle.
Old DG Motorsport battle right here. Matthew Greathouse lurking just behind these two. And Matthew Greathouse right there, that's one of the toughest positions to be in here at Iowa. So if you got trucks battling right in front of you, there's not really a great place to go. Can you take it 3 wide? Sure. But you ultimately just have to pick one truck that you believe is going to make the pass.
Bouncing off everything is the 90 of Aiden King. Oh, man.
That was wild for a second. I think
that thing is loose.
I think they saw the 6 truck there, that lap truck coming to him, and I don't think that Aiden was thinking about Greathouse in that situation, and well, somehow they held on to that. That was impressive to say by both those drivers right there.
Battle for 3rd. Shane Wolf and Doyle going at it.
What a start to the year Lane Doyle's had, Emerson.
Yeah.
I feel like we're talking about him every week. And that's a good thing. He was hanging on the backside of that lead battle last week. And I feel like he's our only driver that led laps, I think, in each of the first 3 races. If I'm not mistaken. I believe that happened. Can't ask for a better start than that to the season. Obviously, he's very, very high in points, and I think he's got a few more wins in him this season, so it's not going to be the last we talk about that 47 truck up front.
Hope not, but at the same time, JB, you mentioned wins. So far to this point, 5 races, 5 different winners. You know, we could see, you know, more of that tonight. Now we do have winners right now up inside the top 5, 3 in just in the top 5, but Shane Wolf and Green, they have yet to win this season. That, you know, that can also, you know, play into the nice points battles we could see later on in the season.
Yeah, it took NASCAR using the next gen car to find that parity, and here in SRN we just have a driver pool that's so talented and tight raced together that we actually get that parity. I think it's pretty incredible that year after year we just see naturally so many different winners. But we're on pace, obviously, this year to have a lot more than we had previously, and I hope that continues because we love interviewing first-time winners, new winners, week after week at the end of these races. It's so much fun.
I want to ride on board here with Lane Doyle and just see how he's attacking this, right, Jay? Because I think Doyle at this point thinks he is faster than Shane Wolf, but Shane Wolf's kind of running the golden line right now, which is right. He's up high, but he's not up on the fence. He's right on the dotted white line there. He's running that third lane, but not the wall lane. You know, he's getting the max of it without overstepping. Now, right there in turn 1, Shane Wolf kind of just drove over a bump. I don't actually know how he didn't break loose right there, but you see Doyle, he's got to try a whole different lot of things here if he's going to get by Shane Wolf.
Yeah, you see Doyle moving up right here a little bit because last time you saw him on the bottom, you saw a loose there too off of 4. He just didn't get a lot of rear drive, and I think that's just what's getting him, you know, not a lot of gains here on the 14 because, like you said, Emerson, I think he's a little bit faster. I think that commitment to the bottom he's had so far in this run has saved him a little bit of tire. But we know catching somebody is one thing, passing him is another, right? You hear it in all kinds of farm and motorsports, and it's true. Because when you have to pass somebody, you might not have to be able to use the fastest line or the line where your vehicle is the most comfortable with. That will end up just kind of sticking you right behind a guy for a while and can end up costing you a large amount of time on the track itself as far as time delta. So Lane's staying committed to what he's got. He's just working him piece by piece, and hoping maybe that 14 hits a bump just the wrong way and he's able to slide up in front of him.
So far, so good. Shane Wolf at the stripe, but Doyle continues to make ground. I think Shane Wolf might have tapped the wall in entry there. This could be it for Doyle.
It's good. Yep. No problem.
I'll do it for Lane Doyle.
And if you're the truck in front of the one that wants to get you, sometimes, depending on who the driver is, it's a little bit easier just to let them have it right now. Because if you don't, you risk your truck and your race, and so sometimes you kind of have to pick those battles. But two drivers there that across the field and made a really clean battle there.
Still over half the race to go. No need to, try something that could be a little more than risky and potentially risk ending your race. Battle.
We have all kinds of pink battle back here with Wally Babb, Kradke, Connor,
oh my goodness.
Sidor, and Dan Park. We got the battle of the pink ribbons back here. It's easy to find this battle, isn't it?
Neon highlighters everywhere. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Oh, Kradke up the track!
Oh. Yeah, heated it into the turn there. Turn 1, he got in there hot. That's going to give Connor a position there.
Yep, Kradke now and Sidor trying to find their way through this. Dan Park and Sidor trying to find a way past Kradke. I don't know if Kradke maybe used up his stuff.
Yeah, he got loose up the corner right there. Yeah.
Kradke is going backwards.
From his last entry into turn 1, you just see how the truck just didn't turn. And that's just when your front tires throw their hands up and go, I'm done. I got nothing left.
Battle for second. Done. No, not done. Here comes Harris.
Lane Doyle is, I believe, saved a little something going on here because he is starting to put down some laps. Looking at the Delta right now, last time by, Lane Doyle fastest truck on the racetrack, and I don't think either of us are surprised about that.
No, sir. No, sir. Here we go. Bo Brady and Aiden King. This is for 11th. Aiden King, JB, he was fast early, but I think he might have used a little too much of that truck because he's been also working his way down the running order the wrong direction.
Well, considering we almost saw him spun out like 3 or 4 times, I think that might have something to do with it. Not sure, but I think that's a contributing factor
That would be my
to his
guess.
fall down the running order. Yes.
Right there you saw Great House and DeLong. They get settled here.
And Lane Doyle just put down a 25.655. Leader last time by was a 25.737.
Oh man.
So that's almost a 10th quicker that this 47 truck is. So he's lining them up right now and putting them down.
Here's this battle. Connor has escaped from Visk, Kratke, Bab, Dan Park, and Sidor.
Oh, we got a crash.
Matthew Greathouse in trouble.
Person.
Oh no, Greathouse. That is not the direction of traffic.
Doesn't look like any heavy damage on that truck. Waits for a hole in the field to be able to get that thing spun back around. See what happened there. Not what Lane Doyle wanted to see. He was on a heater right there. He was coming with a 59.
This was bound to happen. This is 2 trucks that have been fighting their hearts out, Austin DeLong and Matthew Greathouse. As they approach the lap truck of Mark Person can't figure out which lane he wants to be in. And right there opens the door, tries to get through, and Greathouse just a little too much there. Gets into the side of the 77.
Greathouse shoots the middle. I mean, the 77 had room to the wall there for sure. But the 22 also maybe needs to know he's bottom of 3. That's a tough spot though, Emerson. I mean,
I think everyone could have done better.
Incidents. Yeah, I feel like it's like we said with the first couple incidents. There's a bunch of contributing factors. It's not one person's fault. It's just the product of the racetrack.
I could assign all 3 drivers blame in this incident, to be quite honest.
Yeah. If you're the 22, you got to know you're bottom of 3 wide. If you're the 77, you got to be as close to the wall as possible. And if you're the 8, you might just not take it 3 wide right here. You know,
I think that was. I understand the sense of urgency for Greathouse, right? This is a battle for position. He's been working, on DeLong. These two have been battling for a while, right? This is a huge moment in the race for these two. This could be, how they finish. But Greathouse tried to get a little too much, and that washes up into the 77, who could have been closer to the wall, and DeLong, didn't know they weren't clear to 77, and yeah, I think what we said is right, JB. I think all 3 could have gotten some blame there.
Well, that's
part of it.
Why you never look away. You never know what's gonna happen next. Everybody's made their pit stops here. It looks like a couple guys are coming down a second time if they are fixing some more damage. But as far as the leaders, everybody came down, got their service, no penalties. No long pit stops, nothing abnormal, at least through the top 15 to 18. Like I said, everybody after that, and they might have still a little bit of lingering damage left, so they're going to come down second time, try to get all that fixed up here before we get back going.
Well, before we get back going, we're halfway through the running here at Iowa, JB. We're going to take a step aside here. Here, a quick message from our partners here at Speed Racing Network.
What I'm about to do is something you never want to do, ever, period. But because I have top coat F11, I can. Watch this. Literally, black paint. I'm just wiping it dry. Come on, you can't beat that. You just can't beat that. That's Top Cut F11 for you.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Iowa Speedway here in Newton, Iowa. Drake Carty, Lane Doyle, James Shanewolf, Andrew Harris, Jeffrey Radke. The top 5 for this restart as you get ready to start the second half of tonight's round 6 of 24 here from the Iowa Speedway, lap 72 of 140. Here for the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series. Had a nice little green flag run there until a little bit of a racing incident there between two battling trucks and lapped vehicle come together. Let's try to do it all again. Green flag back in the air. Drake Carty leads us back to green. Trucks around in the back. This is going to bring out a yellow. Kratky in the 13 of Robert Vick.
It looks like Ben Park, Mark Person also got a little piece of that somehow. And Emerson, we're back.
Dude, you know what? It was fun.
Yeah, well, you know what? We had a good time there in the middle of this race. I think we'll get it straightened back out here in just a minute. Interested to see what happens here. Considerable damage for Kratky, it looks like.
Robert.
Ooh, Vic gets loose.
What happened there? Well, he got loose, but he got loose very early in the corner. Almost like he downshifted.
That, or maybe he turned his brake bias back during the run there.
Maybe.
To get a better corner entry, and then, oops, some fresh tires again, and all that brake bias to the rear is not going to be a good combination for you. I don't know. Ben Park got into him pretty hard there, and then Kratky just unfortunately nowhere to go.
I'm gonna ride on board with Robert Vick on this restart.
It's after braking.
He might have just gotten on the seam.
Yeah. These trucks are just so on edge on these low tire pressures, on these cold tires when we start the run. It doesn't take much.
Bad it doesn't. You are right. One more view of this one. And you're right. All 3 trucks involved here were lined up nose to tail in the back of the pack here. Robert Vick, Ben Park, and Kratky. Also Person right out there as well. So the 13 just kind of spins right in front of Ben. And yeah, I mean, it's hard. And Ben couldn't avoid it. And then Kratky was just an innocent bystander as well.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario for Jason Kratky right there, just watching it back. Just nothing he could have done different there. Those are the ones that hurt the most, Emerson. You're just sitting there and you're like, well, I couldn't have done anything else, and I just got caught up in it.
That's exactly what I experienced last night in the league race I ran. I was having one of my better runs and kind of middle of the pack at that point, and I mean, we were like on lap 15 of 100. It was a long race too, and a couple in front of me just got aggressive. I couldn't avoid it.
Yep, happens, unfortunately. Kratky was able to come down pit road, and it looks like he got that truck fixed up pretty well. So still going to be out there and in it. Mark Person, Justin Smith, they all came down for a little bit more service. Ben Park's currently still on pit road getting service.
There he is.
And now he pulls away. So these guys trying to get whatever they can fixed back up. I haven't had a chance to say it yet this week, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. You know why these guys are doing it, Emerson? Points. We haven't mentioned points yet this week. I know I've said it in every race so far this year, but
Mark it off the bingo board.
Every point matters. So, you know, the guys that are currently, there's a couple guys out here that are multiple laps down. They're going to get all they can, because if somebody wrecks and is out of the race, somebody has connection issues and it kicks them out of the race, that's just free spots you can have. And points this year, even though we've had 5 different winners, you know, pointing your way into the playoffs is still a very real scenario, and it's tight there in the middle of the pack for points. So every week matters. Each driver gets 2 of their lowest points weeks they can drop, whether that's a miss or just a bad race. So you want to try to avoid using those at all costs, because, well, Emerson, we still have a plate style track with Atlanta, and we still have another road course on the schedule. So there's still some wild cards out there, and you don't want to necessarily, use a drop week at a track like Iowa where you think you might have a shot at the top 15. And if you're not a good road racer, you might want to save it for that one.
Absolutely. Anything can, and usually in racing and sim racing and sport in general, JB, anything will happen.
Yep. Yeah. And, I mean, this is one of our shorter tracks on the schedule. And so, we don't, unfortunately for our audience, we don't have Bristol on the schedule. I know the drivers aren't necessarily disappointed about that. But that's another place. Shorter tracks, it's just so much easier to get caught up in somebody else's mess because you don't have to be really anywhere near the start of the incident to be involved in it.
Well, here we go. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. It's Drake Carty, James Shane Wolf, Lane Doyle, Andrew Harris chasing green, leading us back to the green here from Iowa. Shane Wolf pounds the wall down.
Hard contact for the 14. We'll see how that affects him. Arrow-wise, I don't think a big difference, but if it did any kind of RPM damage or any kind of suspension damage, we'll find out here pretty quickly. So far, it looks to be okay.
It looks a-okay. 3 wide back here. This is trouble brewing back here. Somehow, they all avoid one another. Connor hanging on for dear life in between Bo Brady and Austin DeLong and Aiden King and Dylan Godinez, and they're all over one another. Somehow.
Yeah, Connor was not going to give up that middle.
Oh, man.
Eventually gets shuffled back, but that was tight there for a second.
Oh,
man.
Oh, contact.
Oh.
Godinez and Cunningham get together. We stay green. 3, maybe 4 wide behind. Carl Bond trying to bomb it in there. Slow truck on the bottom.
That was a nice save by Connor, who could have easily just turned the 88. Did a good job of bumping him, but not wrecking him.
So much going on. All the while, by the way, I don't think we said it enough. Drake Carty, how dominant has he been these last 2 weeks, man?
Tracks that fit his racing style. He's races a lot of short track stuff on the surface, is really good at it, so naturally he's going to be good here. Was a little bit surprised about his road course racing ability, but he's a newer driver to SRN, so we didn't really know that, right? But I think now we definitely know who's the favorite on the road courses. Probably him in the 14, but impressive performance so far here tonight. We did see, though, as the run went longer, wasn't necessarily the strength of that 59 truck, so if we get into a settled run again here, I looked at that 47 of Lane Doyle, because if you remember, he was the one clicking those laps off at the end of that run.
But now I'd wonder, JB, does Drake Carty change his driving style? Does he save a little bit more? Right? He hasn't legged it on James Shane Wolf like we saw how he did last run.
Maybe. But does he have the ability? And not knocking him as a driver, but, some drivers just, they have the ability to just run off heaters all the time, and then some have the ability to not do that but save time. And then obviously your best drivers can do both, right? Yeah. And I would like to say that's probably your high I ratings and your Coke Series drivers.
Oh, spinner in front of the leaders, Robert Vick. Oh my goodness. That could have been.
See him in the picture. We just saw the smoke.
That could have been detrimental.
Yeah, right in front of the leaders.
Oh my!
Wow.
Evan Carlbon, I hope you're wearing brown race suit.
13 almost. Yeah. Oh, we got a wreck in the back.
That one will bring out a
House, Brown, Corcoran, Connor. It looks like involved maybe, or just registered some incident points.
I think Corcoran for sure involved. Wow. Well, we're gonna have a little bit to unpack here, JB.
Well, we saw the 13 spin by himself, didn't bring out a caution, but got below the line, which was great. But then something imploded in the back half of the top 10 here.
Sure did. Let's see here. This is Sean Corcoran. I saw him slow on the timing sheet when the yellow came out. Let's see here. Carl Bond and
Carl
Greathouse
Bond
get
gets
together, and Corcoran gets spun around.
Looks like Carl Bond got loose there right in front of Greathouse and stacked everybody up, and then it's the accordion effect. You know,
Now
you
I
come off the
wonder
corner, everybody
if Carl
jams up.
Bond got loose because he was avoiding Robert Vick.
Maybe.
Oh man,
Could be a contributing factor.
let's see
Hard
here.
hit there for the 71.
See what happens to Robert
Wow.
Vick here, all by himself. A little too much on the gas, and
Yeah, lots of damage on that truck too.
I mean,
And that rear damage there, that will affect the handle.
oh for
Emerson,
sure.
as you know. So he's just battling there. Now watch this 78 truck right here. Let's see what this looks like. That should be a good view. Oh man, that was close.
Okay, well he doesn't stutter there, but he hits the apron after passing
Yeah.
the 13, and I think that just throws the
crossed
balance
up.
of the truck off.
And just him slowing up just accordioned everybody behind him. And then it was just bumper to bumper to bumper, and it's going to find whichever truck is not pointed the right way, and that's going to be the one that gets shelled out of line. And unfortunately, that was the 74 of Sean Corcoran. And Spencer Brown made some pretty hard contact with him as well. You'll see the accordion effect here, and it's going to find the weak link in the line. That's the 74, and then bam.
71 just hit him in the right spot also.
So I mentioned Connor in that incident. He was not involved in that incident. He actually registered an incident point earlier from when he got into the back of the 88 there when we saw that stack up. So Connor was not involved in this one. Came away unscathed here. Just maybe got a little bit of damage from that bump to the back of the 88 a little bit earlier.
Well. This is I mean, this is what we expect from a short track, right? It can get a little messy. We had a great run as well, and we're still very privy to also get one more good run in us before this one's over. So I
think so.
By
And
no means are we done.
They don't have to pit again.
Right.
Don't have to. That doesn't mean they won't. Let's say we have 50 laps to go when we get the green here, I believe, maybe 49, because I think they still have another pace lap. If we go 20 or so laps on a run, you're probably going to want to come down pit road. But if you're the leader, track position here does play a vast importance, because it can be hard to pass at times. So, I don't know. It could be an interesting strategy play down the stretch.
If you're someone like Jeffrey Radke, in 20 laps, comes out, what do you do, Obviously, we know Radke can move to the field.
If you're Aiden King, who's fast, right, but you're 10th right now, it might be worth the gamble, for sure. Look right behind him, though. Who's there? Kyle Spees is back in 11th.
Wow.
After the day that he's had so far. Very Kyle Spees-like, not shocking to any of us. Has just slowly been getting piece by piece back, got that truck fixed up real nice. Actually looks in pretty darn good shape for the contact he had earlier. So, good job by Kyle to rebound.
Flying under the radar, 33, Corey Stahl. I don't think we mentioned him all day.
No. Corey doing a great job. We saw him with that awesome avoidance of the first accident there of Radke.
That's right.
That he got low, got out of the way. Speaking of Radke, right in front of him, there's Radke right there. In the top 5 now. So
interesting how
in the top. Here we go.
Interesting how these names, we keep seeing at the front, they keep coming back even after some adversity. It's like the cream rises to the top. It's almost like
If you're fast, you're fast.
It's almost like they're good.
That's better than me. So that's why we're up here.
The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in the pit lane, the field in the hands of Carty, Shane Wolf, Doyle, Harris, and Radke. Green flag. Back in the air. Oh boy, do I hear 3 wide for second lane. Doyle clears. Harris trying to send it down low. Shane Wolf not done. Radke and Green want a piece of the action. All behind Drake Carty.
Couldn't tell what happened to the 14 there, but he got way up in turn 1 and 2, and you saw him going over those bumps. That truck was hopping through 1 and 2. Gathers it back up here to P3, and now the battle's on right behind him. Ooh, gets a little bit of the wall there off of 2.
He sure did. And Andrew Harris trying to take advantage of it. I'm sorry, no, Jeffrey Radke trying to take advantage of it. Oh, it is Andrew Harris. Radke was trying to get around V55 of green right in front. And Lane Doyle now hounds the tailgate of the 59 machine. Look at this.
Lane Doyle, we talked about his long run speed, but hold on a second. Lane Doyle might have just been saving something for the whole run here that we didn't see early in his cards. Maybe he didn't qualify like he wanted to, and now he's up near the front. Man, he's giving that truck all it's got.
Sure is. He's going to have Drake Carty really looking in that mirror here for probably the first time all day. Carty kind of been unbothered up front for the first 95 or so laps, but Lane Doyle wants to change the momentum of this race, wants to swing it in his direction, and why not? Andrew Harris trying to run that high side as well. Everyone all packed up here at Iowa.
Yeah, it seems like the damage to the 14 from hitting the wall hasn't hurt him too bad. He's hanging on to P3 right here just fine, but definitely maybe kicking himself a little bit for how high he got up in 1 and 2. Maybe just a little mistake there, cost him at least 1 spot, but as the battle's on for the lead, he's got a front row seat for this.
Lane Doyle trying to wrap that bottom. Who can put the power down better? At the stripe, it's Carty. Doyle trying to find something down low. Any inch of grip, any inch of opening. Doyle's gonna take it. Carty, hold station.
Just like we saw earlier in that long green flag run, Doyle just stayed true to the bottom. Like, that's just where he's comfortable with that truck, and so far so good.
Robert Vick had another moment on the track. We'll see if we get a replay of that one later. Looks like another turn 4 incident. For the 13 of Robert Vick. Meanwhile, back up front, this is getting spicy.
Definitely the most pressure the 59 truck's seen all night. And it's not because they have a lot of traffic slowing them down now. This is just, clean green racetrack, pure pace. The 47's giving them pressure.
Harris sideways up off the corner. Trying to keep that 87 and that throttle pinned down. Right on
Carty
board.
now moved to the bottom,
Yeah.
maybe trying to get the line, take the line away from the 47. Moves back up here at this end a little bit. The great view of the track back there. You see all the different lines. Everybody's putting that truck in a different lane, trying to hunt for that clean air on the nose.
Look at Harris
Ooh,
and
tight.
Shane Wolf.
Tight back there. Yeah, I was about to
man.
say. There's a little bit of door action back there to try to...
That's not the
solve
first
that
time
battle.
they've been dooring today, by the way.
You know what, Emerson? I don't think it's going to be the last either.
No, sir.
I'm impressed with Lane Doyle right here. Just sticking with the back of this 59, running his line. Not really trying to throw it out there in there. I mean, he's got 40 laps left, so he doesn't really need to force the issue right now. But I believe if he stays this close to the 59, I think as the run goes, the advantage is going to be in the hands of the 47.
Look at everyone behind Lane Doyle running that high line, and Carty and Lane Doyle running the bottom.
Yep. And anything he can to try to take that line away a little. I mean, Lane's just doing such a good job with that, just wrapping the line down there. And that naturally saves a touch more tire as well, which just plays into how he ran that longer run earlier. Then there's a log jam up top back there.
Oh my goodness. Lane Doyle, he's painting that yellow line just like an IndyCar would around here. I mean, he is really just staying committed, and that's one thing, right? Lane Doyle's got is discipline. We know Carty's got the pace. I'm not saying he's not disciplined, but we know Lane Doyle's got the discipline to keep that thing in between the lines, color inside the lines, and keep that 47 pointed in the right direction. And he's gonna have moments like this where the opening's there. He's got the nose peeking.
He's close. He's closer than he has been. And also, the closer he gets to the nose of the back of the 59, the more he can pack a little bit of air on the rear of that 59. Maybe upset his drive off a little bit. He's just inching on him piece by piece, and Lane's about half a tenth quicker a lap, but so he's just easing up on him. but you're not going to get much quicker than that without passing him. So we'll see, though, if Lane has to start thinking about, okay, do I need to get by him so I can build my own lead to not get caught from behind? But so far, these front two have been running away from the rest of the pack.
I don't think they're too worried about the logjam you were mentioning behind. You can take a look at that.
It's just sorted itself out a little bit here.
A little bit.
It was pretty tight there for a second.
Radke cleared the 5th, Green 6th, Bo Brady 7th, Kyle Spees, Aiden King, and Corey Stalva top 10.
The best news for the leaders. Oh, speaking of the leaders, Lane Doyle has his best look to the inside that he's had. Cardy's going to try to block it off.
Hardy in that Ibach number 59, and it's Doyle into Ryobi number 47.
I like what Doyle's doing here. He's just sticking to his line. Hasn't moved, hasn't wavered. Best run he's had right here. Not going to have the drive off. But if he gets into turn 3 really well, he has a shot at it. Right there. Now he's got to regroup. Try to go at him again, but what I was saying right before we flipped to this battle, they have a long way until lap traffic comes across. The end of the field is at the line right now, so they have plenty of time. Now, Kratky is not that far ahead of them because he, I guess, rejoined the track a little late, but he's a single truck. They won't catch thick lap traffic for a while, so it's just going to be these two battling it out right here.
Big run here. This is what Doyle needs. Pulls up alongside the 59. Can he send it and make it stick? Side by side into turns 1 and 2. Big head of steam from the 59, and the Ibach machine clears back to the front.
There's a really good view of it. You can see the 59 is just able to get in the gas earlier, Emerson, and that's what creates that run off the corner. Power move. Now you see Doyle try up top. Now he's trying to get a run down the straightaway. He can pull right back up to his bumper as they get into one. But now the 47's like, maybe not the bottom. Interesting.
I think the bottom's good, but he's not going to be able to make the pass down there. I think he's trying to get to the outside here.
Yellow.
Caution on the speedway. Oh,
Radke
man.
Shane Wolf.
Oh, no.
Doesn't look like big damage on the 3 truck. Don't see a lot of damage on the 14 either. This could have just been a spin.
It just got sideways, and when a car or any vehicle is perpendicular to the racing line and traffic's coming, iRacing will flag that as a yellow. Let's see here. This was a battle too. That was a brewing. Ooh, right there.
I thought 14 was loose there, and could get it back up towards the wall. That would be my guess because it's on corner exit. Take another look at it maybe, but where we've seen pretty much all the incidents tonight, Emerson is on corner exit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And almost
if
all
you look at the steering wheel there,
being loose.
14 was loose on corner exit, and well, he unfortunately what caught him from spinning out was the 3 truck. See the back end start to slide there. Yep. 14, I don't know if he would have spun it out without the 3 truck there, but unfortunately for Radke, he was just right in the spot that Shane Wolf needed to catch that truck.
And one more incident. Robert Vick had nearly done it in again. I think he did the exact same thing. Robert Vick out of turn 4. We have that.
Yeah, and that could be a product, Emerson, of just the damage on that truck, just making it really hard to drive. Could be an off-centered wheel if he's got suspension damage, all kinds of stuff. Yep. Pretty much same thing there.
Down there.
Ooh, ow.
And that'll do the 13th tonight.
Yep, that little track there on the inside, that's not actively scanned by iRacing, so that didn't bring out a caution. But ultimately, I think ended the day of the 13 truck. Well, everybody came down pit road here, got their normal service. Nobody rolled the dice to stay out, which probably a decent idea. I mean, there was a good 20 laps on those tires there. I still maybe would have tried it. or maybe gone 2 tires if I was somewhere way in the back, but
You tire
everybody comes
fire.
down to 4. Hey, you never know. You never know.
And why not?
No pit road
28
penalties
laps
there
to go.
too. So
A lot of racing left. And if you're Lane Doyle, I mean, how do you attack these restarts, man?
I
Great
think he
karting,
does it
he's
with
been
more
in control.
confidence now.
Yeah.
I think he's confident now he can hang with that 59, and so he's going to fire off, maybe even more aggressive. I mean, obviously there's still 28 laps to go. That's plenty of time, but he knows he can hang with them now. But if also I'm looking in that mirror,
Yeah.
47, the 55, the 87 right back there, probably the group of the more aggressive drivers here in this series, and so they're not going to necessarily let you go either. So you have to find that balance of getting after Carty, getting him uprooted from the lead, while not giving those guys behind you a chance to uproot you in the process.
Part of it, JB, is we're going to restart here maybe 25 to go, as opposed to 55 to go earlier in the race. A lot less laps, a lot less necessary to save your tires. You don't have to. You know, there's a lot less racing left in this race, and you can lean on those tires a little bit more. Both Carty and Doyle, and anyone else in the field. So this could get nice. This could get interesting.
You know, these are the moments that we usually have to bookmark, Emerson, because we need to go back and clip them. So
That is for sure. So Dalton McKinney, not having the best of days, not having the best of seasons. McKinney, by the way, finds himself getting the lap back here. He is 12 laps off the pace, I believe, JB.
Oof. Yeah, I think that was from that earlier incident. Saw that. And I was told in the chat that that 46 paint was a cotton candy inspired design. So that's the why that truck looks that way.
Oh, I mentioned that last week. I think the cotton candy colors.
Yeah, so you were right. That's exactly what it was modeled after. So good call on that.
There you go.
Good looking truck. We love the pride that these drivers take in their paint schemes.
Absolutely. Beautiful trucks come to track every week. And hopefully we get some beautiful racing here with 25 laps to go on the restart. It's Carty, it's Doyle, Green, then Shanewell, Brady, Harris, Radke, Speed, Stahl, and King. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. Green flag in the air. 25 laps to go. Carty's loving every bit of what's happening behind. Doyle needs to clear Shane Wolf, and he does if he's going to have a chance at that 59 machine. 24 to go.
Interesting to see here. Doyle now starts with the outside lane as his preference instead of what we've seen the last couple of runs where he just immediately starts wrapping that line. So maybe with so few laps left, he knows, hey, I don't need to save much for tire. Let's just go try to get what we can. So far, so good for that 47. He's going to have a good run here out of 4.
Big run, trucking the wall behind. Andrew Harris pounds the wall down. Lane Doyle knocking on the tailgate of the 59.
Lane Doyle is right there in his tire tracks, putting the pressure on Drake Carty. May try to send it down here, and yes, he does.
Big send, 47. Can he make it stick? Side by side out of 4. Carty takes the advantage.
Got a little wiggle there. Little wiggle. I think that's going to prevent the 59 from running way away from him with this speed on the outside line there, but 47 is going to re-rack it here and try once again. Good run out of 2.
Both of them sideways out of the corner, leaving everything on the track.
They are driving it for all they can right now, and Shane Wolf is sitting behind these guys going, you know what? If they get into each other a little bit, I might be right in the right spot.
My boy, both of these guys going for their second wins on the season, but should they come together, JB, Shane Wolf looking for his first win in a long time here in SRN.
That'd be great to see and well-deserved with how he's run to start the year. Doyle's not leaving this 59 truck alone. Another wiggle there by Carty on corner exit.
Andrew Harris keeps pounding that wall down.
Yeah, I think he's given up on how the right side of that truck looks, and he's just going to go for it. If he can make some speed doing it, he's going to do it. Good run there with the 47 off the corner.
Carty's getting back into a rhythm here. That's not what Lane Doyle wants to see. Lane Doyle wants to keep Carty on his toes, keep Carty guessing. Right now, Carty hasn't felt any pressure. Carty just gets to run his line.
It's possible with this run being so short, we might not see lap traffic at all. So the battle is going to remain between these two, and who can get around here the quickest. You can tell Lane Doyle is driving that thing right now.
Try all his might, but Carty's doing the same thing. 19 laps to go. There's no real use in saving tire. Everyone's leaving it all out here. Now Carty takes the inside lane.
Doyle's going to say, you know what, give me that outside, give me that crossover. Not quite. He's going to drive it in there, but he's not going to have a good angle in the corner.
Couldn't get there.
Now gets the air taken off the front of that truck. It's going to cost him a little bit. Interesting decision by Carty to take the inside that last time.
Going back down there.
Yeah, does that again here. Maybe he knows that that's Lane's spot. And,
yeah.
Well, if he can't pass me, if I'm taking it, but that run Lane got out of 1 and 2 last time with that higher line looked pretty good, so I don't know if I'd give him that either. I know you can only make that truck so wide.
Well, you know, Doyle sideways again, trying to hang on to it. Harris, he is all over this 14 machine of Shane Wolf. And so Shane Wolf, Harris, and Radke, that 3-truck battle continues for the 3rd position at the 7/8 mile oval in Newton, Iowa.
Good battle throughout the field here.
Yeah, Harris trying to get down there. He can't. And this is where the fun is happening. Dan Park and Michael Seidorf. The battle of the pink ribbons, as you called it, JB. This one hasn't given up.
I mean, these guys won't leave each other alone. They can't get away. Dan Park, great run this evening from all the way in near the back again. Kind of where I guess he likes to start every wheel. Oh, Carl Bond off the corner. Sends it to the inside. Not going to... Oh, it will bring out a caution.
Whoa!
I wasn't sure if it would, but I think he overcorrected it back up onto the racetrack. If he would have just spun that to the bottom, I think we would have stayed green.
Joe Ruggles nearly gets collected in that as well. So here's what you saw, JB, but what we're getting to see for the first time on the feed. Carbon a little low down there, JB. Just really easy to over throttle, rotate those rear tires, and trying to save it. Maybe spun back up to the track and in Ruggles.
Joe Ruggles trying to get out of the town as quick as possible there.
Good avoidance.
Yeah, I mean, similar to most of the instances we've seen, kind of the same exact spot on the racetrack, same exact thing, just gets in the throttle, truck comes around. I thought he was going to get it more near the grass and just spin it around, but when he comes back up on the racing surface, that triggered the yellow flag. Only truck involved, though, so no big damage. Pit road strategy, maybe, by some drivers here. We'll see. The 55 comes down pit road. Jason Green. He's going to drag the back half of the field with him. Hold on a second. I have a little strategy brewing here, Emerson. I think we only had about 16 laps on those tires there from the green flag to that caution.
Well, the top 15 will have stayed out on this restart. This is what we're looking at back here, Green and
once
company.
Jason Green pulled off to pit road, you just saw everybody behind him come down pit road, because why not? You know, if you're running 20th right now, the worst you could finish by staying out would probably be 20th.
I don't think these guys are going to have enough time to upset the decorum up front, but they could get inside the top 10.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You know, and turning a 20th place finish into a 10th place finish is a big deal. Again,
big deal for points. Yep.
Points. Here we go. Points. And it matters, you know. And if you're running, like I said, 20th, 21st, 22nd, what do you have to lose? I mean, you know, worst case scenario, you put tires on and you start right back there and you don't go anywhere. But I do believe with 16 or so laps, you're going to have a slight advantage over some of these guys. You might not see it for the first few laps, but eventually
There's only 10 laps
they'll
left.
be quicker. Yeah. Yeah, I think the first 3 laps of this run, now granted, I'm assuming we go green at the end here, but we know how this goes. The first 3 laps would kind of be even, but then eventually those fresher ones would kind of take over. So like you said, Emerson, don't think they have a shot to upset the top 5 at all, or even touch the top 5. But beyond that, chance to improve their finishing position.
Especially with the people up inside, the top 10, and if they've been really using their stuff up, trying to go forward or in their battles, they are going to be the ones at high risk of losing spots to those fresh tires.
Yeah, exactly. And, well, another restart for Drake Carty. He's been perfect on them all day.
He's nailed every one.
But now everybody's going to be hungry. Yeah, now everybody's going to be as aggressive as possible on the restart. So you also got to consider that.
How many restarts can you nail in a row, man?
He's done a lot of them on fresher tires too. This one, he's going to have a little bit of wear there. I don't know. It's interesting. Also, he's picked the bottom every time. I was one of those tracks where you kind of have options there.
Yeah.
The top line restarts popular a lot of times because you can really arc it into 1 and 2, get a really good drive off, and make a lot of distance on the backstretch to the rest of the field. But he's been undefeated on the bottom thus far, so why would you change that?
No reason to. Other than maybe throw Lane Doyle off. If Lane Doyle gets a good restart and you get another one of these yellows or something.
Yeah. I mean, Doyle's had enough restarts there in second that you gathered he's been able to maybe figure something out. Maybe this is kind of the range that 59's been taking off the last couple times. Maybe I know he's going to enter one kind of on this line. He's probably been keeping a little bit of notes on that stuff, and we'll see what happens here down the stretch. But I think we're set up here for a pretty entertaining finish.
Well, here we go. 8 laps to go on the restart. Drake Carty, Lane Doyle, Andrew Harris, James Shane. We'll flip those in row 2. Jeffrey Radke, Kyle Spees. Both of those have been involved in yellows, by the way. Aiden King, Connor Cunningham, Corey Stahl, and Dylan Godinez, the top 10, as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in the pit lane. The field in the hands of Drake Carty. Green flag back in the air. 8 laps to go. Who wants it more from Iowa? Drake Carty leads Doyle. Shane Wolf, they get single file behind. Everyone trying to find their rhythm, find their line quickly here. Not many laps to go. Carty now way up the track, trying to close that door into 47. What does Lane Doyle do?
Doyle is wearing out his back bumper, getting into 3 there. Hey, Doyle got the first piece of that mission finished, which was clear the 14. He's done that. Now the 14 kind of getting back up there with these 2. Doyle's going to have to mount some kind of run here to make up a little bit of time on that 59.
It's going to be real interesting to see if anything can come of it there. Everyone inside the top 10 kind of holding station, holding steady. Nothing really changing up there. Nearly into the walls, Andrew Harris, man. He's been playing with fire up there.
Yeah, that's this is a recording. Andrew Harris near the wall again.
Yup.
He's just been running that high line a lot this back half of the race. Been being able to use it to his advantage, but wearing out the right side of that truck in the process.
4 laps
Doyle
to
done
go.
Too much? Has Doyle worn out those tires too much, Emerson?
He might have. I mean, he's been going at it a lot. Dalton McKenney off the track. Looks like we stay green. Doyle, big
corner
wiggle
exit
there.
Good corner exit there by the 59. You saw Doyle a little bit loose. He's going to have to take a mistake out of the 59 truck. change the results of what's happening up front.
Truck around. That could bring out a yellow. Carl Bond, off the track, we stay green. More trucks jostling for position back there. It looks like it's DeLong in trouble. We're still fine. Cardi powering this thing around, pedaling around, trying to make it to the white next time by.
Yep. 2 to go here. He just wants to complete one more lap to make it official. Off to a pretty decent lead right there. No current pressure by Lane Doyle.
Radke and Shane Wolf, they're side by side down the back. Radke trying to clear the 14. Off of turn number 4, 1 lap to go. Radke clears Shane Wolf for 3rd. It's Drake Carty, 0.4 of a second clear of Lane Doyle as the track is filled with smoke from spinners in the back. We stay green, and that's all that matters. 1 week ago, Drake Carty had to fight it out with James Shane Wolf for his first career victory at Watkins Glen. Tonight, it's been all dominance from that Eibach number 59. Drake Carty goes back-to-back for his first 2 career Speed Racing Network victories.
When it rains, it pours. I've heard these things come in bunches. Much like my start to winning in Speed Racing Network, it went back-to-back. Drake Carty's going to do the same here at Iowa. Impressive drive, flag to flag, just didn't surrender it, did all the things right. Incredible restarting ability. Earned every bit of this one. And his team owner Dylan's going to drive him around on the front stretch with him. DG Motorsports, man, what a start to the year they've had. And they're just continuing to rack them up, and great job by Drake Carty. I think that's actually Aiden King that's come up there. Looked a lot like that 88 truck, couldn't tell. But we have a DG Motorsport burning it down on the front stretch right now.
Everyone trying to take a little spotlight here from Drake Carty, but Carty, he got it done last week, and this one's all him. I mean,
Yeah.
he dominated this one, JB. I mean, led well over 100, maybe led almost every lap.
Yeah, no doubter on this one. We'll have that information here in just a moment. But you want to know what's really cool? Well, Radke snuck out that 3rd place right there, right at the line. But if he wouldn't have done that, we would have been talking to the same 3 drivers this week that we talked to
last week.
Yeah, on 2 completely different racetracks. So I think that's just a cool testament to how versatile our drivers here are in Speed Racing Network.
There you go. Take this opportunity here to speak with our 2-time now Speed Racing Network winner, driver of the number 59 in Drake Carty. And Drake, back-to-back weeks, you are a Speed Racing Network race winner. It's now 2-time race winner here, and tonight you were dominant. I mean, led basically wire to wire. 138 of 140?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So almost 100% on laps led tonight, Drake. If you didn't prove it last week, tonight you proved you are a force to be reckoned with in SRN. How about it, man?
Oh, this one feels great. Like I said last week, I love this track now. You guys asked me how I like it.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely one of my favorites. Oh yeah, last week.
Oh my gosh.
Before the race. Yeah, this is definitely not one of my favorites.
The whole field back to the drawing board. He's had this track 8 days.
Yeah, I think honestly the only laps I didn't lead were under caution with the lappers. But yeah, I really love this track now. The iBach truck was flying. I had it hooked up, especially through 3 and 4. Just want to thank my team for all the practice this week and getting me dialed with this track. But yeah, this is a great result for me, and hopefully we can continue.
Well, one thing we don't want to do is keep adding to the list of tracks that Drake Carty really likes, because that could be bad news to the rest of the field. But man, tonight what we were really impressed with was your ability, restart after restart, to just keep getting off to good jumps. Whoever it was, it was at one point it was Kyle Johnson, it was Lane Doyle, it was James Shane Wolf. How did you keep those guys off balance on those restarts? Was there a particular strategy you had, or were you just focused on getting off to the best jump that you could?
Yeah, first off, I want to thank and congratulate all of my people that raced with me hard: James Shane Wolf, Lane Doyle, Kevin Johnson, or Kyle Johnson. They all raced really cleanly. I really appreciate that. But off the restarts, I would just make sure I got the jump and waited for the best time to get that launch. And once I did, I tried to keep it through turn 1, and then out of 2, I knew I had it. So just back to tire saving.
Well, Drake, next week is Homestead Miami Speedway. Back to the intermediates, amount of halves for you. You've gone back to back for your first 2 race wins here in SRN. Can you go 3 in a row?
Well, I did buy Homestead the same time I bought this track, so.
Oh my goodness.
Well, here we go again.
hopefully I can tell you about it again in the broadcast room, but until then, just going back to my team.
Well, everyone better watch out. And man, Drake Carty has been absolutely on fire the last 2 weeks. Tonight, 138 of the 140 laps. I'd almost be mad at get those last 2 laps, man. But a near perfect race for the 59, from pole to leading almost every lap to the win. Drake Carty, dominant here in Iowa. Congratulations on your 2nd career SRN victory, and best luck to you next time out at Homestead.
Thank you, and I would like to thank my sponsors, iBox Springs. They got one of the best off-road springs known to the racing world. DG Motorsports for my team, put it in the practice. DeLong Performance, Tony G's, they got the best subs. And Last Lap Insider Instagram. Go follow them on Instagram. They post NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, everything you want. So just want to thank everyone.
Well, there it is. You're now 2-time Speed Racing Network race winner, Drake Carty, in absolute dominant fashion tonight. Drake, congratulations once again. Best luck to you at Homestead.
Thank you.
And that was driver of the number 59, JB. We'll be finding our way now to our 2nd place finisher tonight, driver of the number 47 in Lane Doyle, and we'll be bringing him on. We'll be bringing him on up. And Lane, you were hot in pursuit, right on that tailgate of that 59 machine for so many laps there at the end. What more could you have done differently?
On that first run, where I got behind him, I think I just needed more time. That caution fell at a bad time for me, but that's just how racing goes. I messed up my next couple of chances. I burned out my tires pushing too hard. So he deserved that win. He raced real well. Raced me hard, but very clean and aggressive. Or swap those 2 words around. Very aggressively and clean. I couldn't have asked for anything different from him. Just wish my tires stayed a little bit longer.
Yeah, we watched that long green flag run there that we had, and we kept looking at your lap times, and they were just falling off less than the field. And then eventually, obviously, you started increasing on that time delta compared to the field, and you were flying. You got past Shane Wolf pretty easily, got past Harris pretty easily, and you were on your way. And then when that caution came out, I was like, dang it. Because I knew that was going to be a good battle up front. But then after that, I was impressed with the fact that you were able to, on the short run, stick with them. But ultimately, it did look like you said, you used a little bit too much tire there. What was the hardest part about the restarts here at Iowa? Because it seemed like Drake Carty had everybody's number on the restarts. Is it just tough to be able to see that other truck with the way the track is? Or is it just tough to kind of guess that start?
I don't know what he was doing, but it was working for him. Because, oh man, I like to think I'm good at restarts, but he dusted me every single time I restarted next to him. So I don't know what he was doing, but I need to ask him. I doubt he'll tell me, but it's worth a thought.
I guess you never know until you ask, right?
Yeah.
Homestead's next week, so we're back to the intermediates. We know you found some success on those tracks before. What excites you about that racetrack, and what could be on the table for you next week?
Well, it's the same reason I love this track. It's multi-groove. You can go wherever you want. But it's just bigger. It's faster. The tires fall off even worse than here, which is impressive for a track to be able to do that. So once again, another track on the schedule I'm looking forward to. I think I can do well. I tell you what, if Drake keeps running like he's running, it's going to be a phenomenal battle all the way down to the end. Every single race. I'm hoping it is, because me, Shane Wolf, and Drake, this race, man, those are some fun battles with those two. I'm hoping those keep going, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Well, Lane, it was a very fun race tonight. A couple podiums back to back here for you. Hopefully you can keep that up next week. We'll be hopefully talking to you then at Homestead. Congratulations on your second place finish tonight, and best of luck to you next time out.
Thank you.
And that was driver of the number 47 hours, second place finisher tonight in Lane Doyle. Third place finisher tonight just snagged it there at the end. We'll be talking to the 3 of Jeffrey Radke. And Jeff, you were facing the wrong direction a few laps ago. Now we're talking to you up here in post race. How about it, man?
Facing backwards a couple of times that race.
Yeah.
We took note. Impressive drive back to the front. Tell us about, after that early spin, did you have to recalculate your strategy? Did you have to drive it different? Kind of talk us through your sequence of events this evening.
Well, for sure. Once that first spin happened, I went to plan B, pretty much wreck avoidance and tire preservation until I could get some good track position back and get back on strategy with the guys up front, which with the cautions falling the way they did, luckily that worked out pretty well. But just keeping the fenders on it was the hardest part there for the first 50 laps.
Well, Jeffrey, this was a very long, hard-fought race. A lot of racing up inside the top 10 with many different drivers, Shane Wolf and Harris and Spees. What was that like tonight with the multi-grooves and, the tire fall off tonight? What was it like battling through the field? I know you had a few runs through the field, but battling tonight, especially with those hard runners.
Yeah, I wish I could have got up there and gave Drake a run and seen what I had for him. Losing that track position really killed that, but Iowa's usually been a big favorite for me. I like how the lanes change. Usually guys will start running up top. It opens up the bottom. If you saved your tires and you got enough right rear for drive. But yeah, nice hot day in Iowa. Can't complain with a third place.
Absolutely. And next up is Homestead Miami Speedway. We even heard just Lane a few moments ago say the tire falls even worse at Homestead. What can we expect there from this 3 machine?
Hoping I can do a repeat from 2 seasons ago with the finale and go out there and lead all the laps and win. Homestead's another good favorite of mine. Trying to get back in the point situation here before we get too deep in the season. So gonna make the best of the good tracks while I get them.
Absolutely. And well, there you are. That is our third place finisher, driver of the number 3 machine, P3 for number 3, Jeffrey Radke. Congratulations on the third place finish for you. Best luck to you next time out at Homestead.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Absolutely. And that was driver of the number 3, Jeffrey Radke. And that's how the podium finishers feel about their run this evening, JB. But we got our post-race results coming your way. And so here they are up on the screen. This is how they came to the checkers tonight. Of course, it was Drake Carty with the dominant win. I have to figure out who took those 2 laps from Drake Carty. They led 138 of 140 tonight en route to a dominant second career race win here in SRN. Lane Doyle finishes 2nd, Jeffrey Radke 3rd, James Shane Wolf 4th, Andrew Harris 5th, Kyle Spees 6th, Jason Green 7th, Sean Corcoran, very impressive 8th place finish for the 74 as he was also facing the wrong way just a few laps ago. Aiden King will finish 9th, and David Flanagan recovers nicely for a top 10.
In 11th, Corey Stahl. Sean Merriman finishes 12th. Connor Cunningham 13th. Bo Brady 14th. Matthew Greathouse rebounds for 15th. Wally Babb 16th, Dan Parkland's at 17th, Dylan Godinez 18th, Austin DeLong 19th, Jeffrey Vickery rounds out the top 20.
Starting to get deep into the running order here. Daytona winner Chris Luttrell will finish 21st. Ben Park, not his best day tonight. He'll finish 22nd. Joe Ruggles 23rd. Michael Seidor 24th in the 86 machine. It'll be Spencer Brown finishing 25th. Evan Carlbon also had a rough day today. He'll finish 26th. Mark Person will get a lead lap finish. He'll finish 27th in the 77. It'll be Justin Smith in the 6 machine, finishing 3 laps off the pace in 28th. Dalton McKinney will finish 29th, 11 laps off the pace. Jason Kratke then in 30th. That 54 machine seen better days. He'll finish 14 laps down. Robert Vick 31st, 20 laps off the pace. Scott Kalal 32nd, blew the engine, 107 laps from the finish. Cal Johnson, rough day for the 48 machine, 110 laps down. So
yeah, there's a couple drivers that had a rougher evening, but Emerson, I do find it fascinating how many trucks finished the race and how many finished on the lead lap. Even with a race that saw quite a few yellows, I think that's an impressive thing to take home with this evening.
Absolutely. It was a very fun race tonight, by the way. Had some great battles. We had a little bit of short track chaos, as you'd expect. A little bit of, controversy here at Iowa. It was a lot of fun. And, yeah, I mean, we really got the multi-groups put on display. We got the tire conservation put on display. And just a clash of skills coming together tonight. And it was a great time. But what do you say about tonight, JB?
I mean, all those same points. As a owner of the series, you always worry a little bit about these tracks because they can create a lot of issues between drivers. But just from what we heard over race chat, what we heard from the interviews, I think it's great to hear. Hey, they raced me clean. There were good battles. Yes, there were incidents, but hey, it's short track racing. That kind of stuff goes down. No big incidents after the race, things like that. So I commend all of our drivers on putting together, I would say, Emerson, a great 6 weeks of action. I mean, we've had 6 solid weeks of racing, and it can be hard sometimes for a series, especially with a larger pool of new drivers like we took on this season, to get off to a good start. Usually it takes 8 to 10 weeks to really get the field to settle into where you really start seeing great racing. But we've been really impressed with how the drivers have done this year so far. So just want to commend our driver pool on that. I also want to give a shout out to our admin staff who does such a great job behind the scenes, making sure all the rules are ironed out, make sure everybody has a complete understanding of what's going on, handling the race sessions. We've had a really good, smooth start to the year. So some stuff behind the scenes that you guys don't necessarily see. The guys that handle that are doing a fantastic job. So just wanted to give them a round of applause. Obviously, Emerson, thank you for all you do for our broadcast on a weekly basis. It makes it easy when we have shows like this to put on a really good one. But man, if the racing's been this good so far, I can't wait to see what happens at Homestead.
100% can't wait. Before that, we do have to give a shout out to our partners here at SRN. A huge shout out to, of course, ThermoPro. Make sure you use code ThermoProTeam for 15% off of your ThermoPro purchases. Admin Box, of course, use code SRN-Box, that's BOXX, for 10% off of your Admin Box purchases. And Premier Racing Setups, make sure you use code SpeedNetwork15 for 15% off of your Premier Racing Setups purchases. At HairClub, of course, the series namesake, take total control of your hair loss at HairClub. Their total hair solutions can help you keep, regrow, or restore your hair. Speak with their hair loss specialist today, and make sure you use code SRN10 to save 10% off of your HairClub order. Also, check out our social media outlets where we will be keeping you guys up to date. We'll be posting nice highlights and nice all-around posts, just keeping you guys informed with Speed Racing Network action. Our Facebook page at Speed Racing Network, our X page at Speed Racing Net, our Instagram at Speed Racing Network, same with YouTube, and our Twitch at Speed Racing Net, the LinkedIn at Speed Racing Network, and of course the website where you keep up with everything SRN, rules and schedules and points and all that is waiting for you at speedracingnetwork.com. But as far as tonight, that'll do it for us this evening here from Iowa. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Join us next Tuesday as the HairClub trucks head to the Sunshine State and Homestead, Miami, Florida for round number 7 of 24 here from the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series. For all at Speed Racing Network, Jonathan Byer, and myself, Emerson Arden, from the virtual booth this evening. Thank you all so much for watching.